Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills in order to help you level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to stay updated for 3 videos a week by hitting that subscribe button right down below. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. In today's episode, we're entering the world of social skills, and I'm going to be taking a short story out of my book, Limit Breaker, 101 Short Stories, Essays, and Insights to Improve Your Communication Skills, which is currently available on Amazon. And the short story that I'm going to be speaking about today is the power of allies. I'm a big fan of fried rice. If I'm thinking about one of those days when I want to break my diet and I'm thinking, what should I eat today? Is it going to be tacos, burgers? Nah, you know what? I'm in the mood for fried rice, but not any kind of fried rice. It has to be shrimp fried rice, extra spicy, with the hot oil. You would think that something like this is rather simple to get. Unfortunately, if you've had a lot of fried rice in your life, you'll start to notice these little micro nuances of what good quality is versus bad quality. Plenty of times in Tampa, I went to different locations trying to get the perfect dish. And each time I was left disappointed. Sometimes the rice was a little too stale. Other times the shrimp fried rice didn't have eggs in it. And other times the people were too rude and I didn't feel comfortable giving them business. After searching for a long period of time, eventually I found this little hole in the wall sort of place that I was driving by one day. And I thought, let me go ahead and give this a try. I've noticed that some of the best food areas are normally undiscovered. So I go in there and I see this tiny Asian woman working in the front. She's super enthusiastic. It's as though she has been expecting me to come to this restaurant and buy some food. I create the order, I get my order, and then I ask her, can I get some hot oil, please? And she gets one big hot oil and she puts it in my bag. I go home that day and I eat this fried rice and I'm amazed. Not only was she a sweet person, the food was amazing. It's one of the best fried rice I ever had. And immediately on that day, I had a new go-to spot. For the next couple of weeks, I ended up going to that fried rice anytime I wanted to have a cheat meal. And each time I would get this food, I would ask her for the hot oil. She would hook me up and I would leave a delighted customer. Well, one of these days, I end up going into the restaurant and I see that tiny Asian woman is not there. Instead, there's a tiny Asian boy, and he doesn't seem as enthusiastic and nice as the other person. I get the same order, and once I get it, I ask the gentleman, can I get some hot oil, please? And that's when he says, that will be 75 cents. 75 cents? And I was about to say, but wait, that woman that normally works gives it to me for free. But for some reason I stopped. I felt as though that I would get her in trouble because I don't know if it actually cost 75 cents and she wasn't aware. So I didn't make a big fuss out of it. I gave this guy his 75 cents and I left. The next time I go to this restaurant, I see this woman again. I get my order. I ask for the hot oil, prepared to spend 75 cents, but she gives it to me for free. And that's when I ask her, does this hot oil cost money? She looks around her and she's like, yeah, it does. Don't tell anyone. But that's when I was like, how come you're giving it to me for free for? Because I came a bunch of times, so I'm sure, it's starting to add up. And that's when she said something that I'll always remember. She said, is because I want your business. And she got my business all right. And not only my business, normally when I'm with people and they're asking, hey, where do you want to go eat today? Or what's a good spot in Tampa? I always recommend that little hole in the wall sort of spot. And in Limit Breaker, I'm breaking down how this was not something that was overt. A lot of the times in these TV shows, when you see an alliance being formed, it's something that is very overt. It's something where there's a lot of glitz and glam. Someone signing a contract, someone verbally stating that they're creating an ally, or they're at least shaking the hands. But in this scenario, myself and this tiny Asian woman, we became allies, but there was never much mention of this. In her mind, she said the intention to make me an ally, and she did it in a very subtle way. And during that moment, I started to understand that a lot of the allies that we're going to form in our life, it's not going to be something that's loud and brash. It's going to be very subtle. Around that time, I was actually trying to get my consultation practice off the ground as well, roughly around 2019 or so. And I was in part of this big group where a lot of the other people on Twitter would engage, interact, bounce ideas off one another. And one day I posted in the group, hey guys, I'm giving away a few free consultation sessions just to assess people's pain points and to see what they need help with. And once I made that post, there was this one big account with a ton of followers who jumps in my DMs and is like, I want to work with you for this free consultation session. I was thinking, this guy, he's such a big account. What does he need help from me for? But here's what he was doing. In a very subvert way, he was offering me the hot oil. He was reaching out to form an alliance. And the stuff that he was competent in was the stuff that I wasn't too competent in, and vice versa. The stuff that I was competent in were the stuff that he wasn't too competent in. So in a very subvert way, he was reaching out hot oil and was seeing if I would accept, and in return, I gave him hot oil back. It's the same thing with this tiny little YouTube studio. I'm not a big person with lighting and all of that graphical stuff, but I know someone who is. And he's very good with setting up these designs. So he set up this design for free. And guess what? I know a lot of people that are trying to start YouTube channels, and I know who I'm going to refer them to if they're looking to start a YouTube studio and they need some guidance. So ultimately, in terms of building allies, you want to look out for the invisible, not only the visible. A lot of the times, people are not going to give you a flat out contract, a handshake, or words, but what they will give you is a movement, a certain gesture. Intent is invisible, but people with street smarts is capable of spotting the intent, especially when they're seeing a guy from a different YouTube channel talking about these special moments, whether it's in big moments like business meetings, or small moments like going to a local shop to get some fried rice. Short stories change your perspective in terms of communication skills, and that's what leads to behavioral changes in the future. If you enjoyed today's talk and learned a thing or two about forming allies, be sure to get more practical insights, strategies, and tips in the Limit Breaker 101 short stories, essays, and insights to improve your communication skills. You can check out the links in the description box, go on Amazon, or go on ArmaniTalks.com and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I will catch you on the next episode.